Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to block this in 2 pieces. So it'll be tip and sideband construction. And we know that this is the edge, and we're going to just, at the back, see where it's a bit vague, we're going to nominate a spot where we're going to say that's the border. And then we're going to block the sideband separately after this is dried. I've just given this a little spray with water on both sides, and it's starting to soften. You don't want to over wet it, because anything that ends up on your fingers after you've been working is not on here, which is where you paid for it to be. So the first thing we need to do is locate your centre front. So that's going to be around about there. So we have it on the cross as it goes across the centre front. So that's available to go down there, and it's all in position here. Using your thimble, where am I going to put my first lot of pins?
North, south, east, west.
Yeah, kind of, although it's, if you're really going to be splitting
on
hairs...
the straight grain.
Yeah, it's going to be on the straight grain, thank you. And now it's getting soft enough that it's starting to be malleable, and the block is quite firm, so you just have to, but it will take... Nah. Now, Lindsay stocks these. I used to buy them from London myself, or from England myself, but now Lindsay does. I don't need to. These are great, but you just need to put a little line on here, because you can you can get them in so deep that you can never get it out again, and that's no good. So you should reasonably be able to get the pins out without killing yourself. Now this one, if I tip it over the edge and lean on it, this always reminds me of Kate Winslet in that Titanic movie. Don't you reckon?
Oh,
Totally the same.
All right, I'll do it. What if I do this?
That's better.
I'm Kate Winslet. Okay, so now that's 1, 2. Now we're doing straight grain again, and we're not pulling because we don't want to heave it about now. The beautiful thing is, when you're a milliner, you will know when you look at stuff if people have been pulling it too. You know, if you look at cinema and it's not, if it goes diamond shape, you'll start to be like me and go, oh my God, that's a bit ordinary. And I'll know that I've taught you well when you go that way. So ditto this. So that's square. And as you all will know, then all the layers of fabric is going to be doing the same thing. There's a little magnet up in the back of these. I think they're about $30 each from Lindsay, and they're well worth it if you don't want to do the tap, tap, tap with the hammer. It's a worthwhile thing, but just you don't know your own strength with it. Now you can see here, that's starting to mould over really nicely, but I can feel it's just a bit stiff still there. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do it the same way we do cinema and all the flat materials. We're going to do beside the first lot of pins, so either side. So you're going to go from 1 to 3 to 5 to damn how many, and then eventually everything's going to go down into the bias bit. But there's no rush for that, so don't. I've just put a bit more water on because it all seemed a bit stiff, so that's good. Okay, so we start off here because it looks malleable. So we're just going to smooth that down, and we can see that that's sitting nicely. Remember, it's got to sit against the block as well. And we need to have, about a centimetre and a half, which will be where's the magnet gone? Let's just see if that's still got a magnet. No. Okay, so you have to keep it facing upwards. Now, in she goes, and we know that that's the angle, so happy now. And this is going to get boring for you kids, so I'm just going to do it fairly quickly then. So pull that down and pin that. And if you block towards yourself, you've got total control. So down there, that's good. And there'll come a point where you get to about 5 or 7, and you can then put a pin anywhere. You can't mess it up by then. And so that's 3. Now, while we're doing this, I also I brought in the other materials that I need to do this. And from Darn Cheap, I got this really nice wadding, which I'm going to hand about. And Sarah, when you come in next week, see, this is going to be a little bit more work because that's got to come in tighter. So, and this one, see how that's like that? How well is that pin working? Not very well. Thank you. That's the answer to that question. So we need to make sure that this is angled down to actually work. And yes, you can make the pin look like a dog sitting down on its hind leg, which is not part of your life plan. There we go. That's better. So that's holding it in place now. So we've done 3 all the way around. Now we're going to crack on and do more. So we're just going to go like that. Actually, no, we're going to go like that. We've got 3 now. That's enough. So we're just going to pull this straight down now. And do you know that levering method that I do? Yeah. So touch and then pull down, and that's going to get a nice tight finish. See, that's still sitting square on top. Yes, happy with that? And so we're just going to touch and then lever it down and drop it in. And you can see it's got plenty of elasticity. Now, given that it's so warm these days, I wouldn't plan to do the tip and the sideband in the same day and have to stick it in the drying machine. But if you had a nice sunny day, you could stick it out somewhere and it'll dry reasonably quickly. So that I've always been a bit stingy with the electricity partly for green reasons, but also it's just about planning. So you might decide to do your tip now and then next week do your sideband, or sneak off to the toot and use the hand dryer. I've sent people to do that in the past as well. And if it was really cold, I'd say use the dryer, but really it's not, is it? So now we just need around about a finger's width all the way around, nice and smooth. So I'm going to keep blocking until that happens. And Dinny, I reckon that is enough, because otherwise they're going to go to sleep. Thank you.